All right. So, first off, welcome back. It's been a month. Glad to see everybody again. Sorry for the time and scheduling conflicts that we have had up to this point. Um, as we return to the Icewind Dales in the land of Vas'Kai, a couple of things of note. First off, uh, Ono is now considered a passive member of the party. We'll talk more about that as time goes on, what that looks like. But I do have plans for Ono Nick. And to get us into the story, uh, so when last we left off, the party has been, the Broken, I should say, you have a name now, has been in pursuit based off of information from Irini for a hammer that can relinquish a spirit from a host body. Something that you guys were looking for, one, because it is a large hammer and several of you can use this as a weapon in general, but also because one of your goals, besides stopping Hedrun, the Ice Witch, is to find a way to save Attina, which is Matra and her other sister, who you have all recently learned about, Zienna. Uh, your goal is to save her and relinquish Hedrun from her body, trying to find a way to keep her alive by killing the other. This hammer feels like it's the solution to that problem. Irini had stumbled across this information while talking to Matra, as well as by conversing with the being that has been kind of speaking to her on occasion, known as the Nameless. Provided you with information and essentially where to possibly go to find it, which is along the way to the forest south of the Ten Trail, where you believe Zienna has been residing based off of information that Matra had given you last she had heard from her sister. The party made their way to the south, and traveling along the north end of the Red Run, Spit made the decision to take the wagon, instead of crossing the bridge heading south initially, to follow the river and look and see if you guys could find the entrance to the area before making your way lost my train of thought. Following the river westward, which was upriver, and eventually finding the location, being essentially a large set of stairs that journeyed upward into the mountains, surrounded by two enormous statues of stone ravens. The party decided to leave Spit and the undead sheriff at the lightning tank in order to, I guess, keep it safe and on lockdown and guard the polar bears who had gone through a traumatic experience of their own very recently. They set work upwards to the shrine itself to begin understanding exactly what you need to do and what this hammer might entail. You reach the top, and I believe it was Irini and Miris deciphered the text that was written in Celestial on the stones. Celestial script with a primordial grammar. It was a cross between the two, really, and determined that there are 3 trials to prove one's worth to essentially claim this what seems to be a decently powerful item from this containment that it's at up in the mountains. A trial of strength, a trial of wisdom, and a trial of constitution, which are labeled as, I believe they were, one second. It was the trial of spirit, the trial of foresight, and the trial of willpower. The party, by that I mean Bictune and Aethros, had a pseudo-instantaneous race because Aethros misty-stepped, and began the trial for himself by both sacrificing a small amount of his blood to the pillar and awakening the 3 sets of trials, opening up 3 different pathways for you to follow. The first one led to the trial of strength, which Aethros and Bictune agreed they would be the ones to complete this trial, where you guys fought a frost giant who was waiting in the arena to oppose any challenges that come their way. You two, in very good fashion and with a couple of really bad rolls on their part, as well as the wonder that is Silvery Barbs, managed to survive said frost giant and succeeded in completing the first trial. We ended last time where Athros was determining with the party what to do for the second trial, and eventually decided on the trial of foresight, which is a wisdom-based trial. Originally, Athros had decided to have Ono join him on this endeavor, but we have since, I believe, because of current situations, as well as the fact that we did not start the trial before we ended last time, decided to, hold on, there's a word that I'm looking for. We retroactively have changed this, I believe, choosing to choose Ibrin.
We retconned
instead.
it.
Retcon, that's the freaking word.
Yeah.
My vocab today
I was thinking that same thing. Like, is that the word, or are you thinking of like some other word that's
no,
not right?
retcon was the word I was looking for. It's been a long day, so my grammar is a
Big
bit...
brain fart.
Yeah, big brain fart today. So, was Ibrin your decision then, because he is the active member who is here, who is viable?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Ibrin and... Oh yeah, before I get into the specifics of the trial, I should just recap the information about the trials in general. There were rules that were given for the trials as well. You can complete the trials in any order. You can have the assistance of one other party member per challenge, but can't repeat participants. Failing all 3 challenges will, in fact, cost the challenger their soul, resulting in their immediate death, which can only be reversed by a wish spell. Before the final challenge is completed, you can reattempt any other failed challenge once with a different party member. And leaving Raven's Point before completing all trials results in a lost/forfeit of the trials completed already. So it would just mean, in honest terms, it would mean that you would not be able to return for a designated period of time, which I believe was a month, before trying to reattempt and claim the hammer once again. So, as you step into the second trial, you would have walked across a large bridge made of ice and stone that overlooked it would overlook the crevices below, and you could see that even like below where you're at right now, there's a layer of clouds that kind of form below this bridge that passes between 2 different plateaus. As you reach the edge of this bridge, you would see a large stone archway, and inside this stone archway there is essentially there's a stone archway where you walk in, and then there's a stone archway probably about I would say 60 feet in a circular pattern on the other side of you, so 100, straightforward. There's a large made of stone ring that kind of goes along the outside, connecting the 2 archways together, and then there seems to be enough area where people can stand, essentially providing you with like an audience type area, so that way the party members who are here are not just like waiting on the bridge, which encircles the entirety of the arena. As you and Ibrin would step into the archway, a set of words echo in the back of your mind, Athros. As you step inside, you would see forming from the other side of the archway, behind the arch itself, appears to be a large hammer made out of stone. The words that echo in your mind are, "Claim the hammer." A female voice resonating, in the back of your mind. As you step through the archway, and as Ibrin steps through the archway, you see that coming out of the opposite end are seemingly made out of ice, a exact replica of yourself and Ibrin, standing in the same positions that you are, mirroring each of your movements as if you're looking at a mirror straight in front of you. So when you move your left hand, it looks like they're moving their left hand, etc. So there's a large breeze that overtakes this area as a small silence would kind of envelop this moment, with the words "Claim the hammer" just once that resonate in the back of your head. What would you like to do, Athros, Ibrin?
Turn and look at Athros and be like, "Yeah, got any ideas here, bud?"
I look at the other figures without looking at Ibrin. I'm like, yeah, I got an idea. Just trust me. And I reach out my hand and try and push Ibrin, and I want to watch to see, like, if I push Ibrin over, will the other statue or guy on the other side fall over?
As you push Ibrin over, the opposing Athros, it would mimic your movements, and if you were to knock Ibrin over, it would knock over the other Ibrin. We'll call them Shadow Ibrin and Shadow Athros, just to make things easier. Shadow Athros would knock over Shadow Ibrin if you knocked over Ibrin.
So they can interact with, well, at least themselves. I reach... So there's an archway behind us and an archway behind them. The one on their side has the hammer. Can I look at Shadow Athros and then try and, like, move my hand to where the hammer would be in the other archway? Like, if you get what I'm saying, like, basically have Shadow Athros grab that hammer and then just throw it across?
I want you, as you reach behind you to try and grab what, like, you look behind you, and for you there is no physical hammer that appears in that location. I want you to make a wisdom check for me. Just it'll be a straight wisdom roll.
Okay. Wisdom ability check. Normal.
As you, did I leave? Okay, I did not leave combat open. Okay. As you reach into this metaphysical space, you, for a moment, you begin to wonder if this is going to work and if you could feel anything there. But, like, taking just a second, and you kind of clear your head, and you like align yourself exactly where you need to be, as if to try to grab the shaft of the hammer. While there's nothing physically there, you feel as though you've made a connection with something. And sure enough, as you grab this hammer, and you try to, like, have them pick it up, you feel as though you're carrying, like, there's no object in your hand, but you feel as though you're carrying the weight of a large hammer, like you would carry on your back, that you've used before. It feels very, very similar, but also weird at the same time, because for you there's nothing. And you kind of turn around to face the other being, to face Shadow Athros, and he is holding the hammer within his hands.
And then can I throw the hammer that's not actually in my hand, but try and throw it across to Shadow Athros, so Shadow Athros would be throwing the real hammer towards me?
Make a strength check for me. It'll be athletics. I'll give you athletics for this one.
Okay. Looks like they're the exact same, so... Ooh!
Silvery barbs.
That's rough. Hits himself in the face.
As you try to throw this hammer at Shadow Athros with the intention of him throwing the other one back to you, your hand slips. I want Ibrin. I want you to make a dexterity saving throw. Okay, you're able to you're able to dodge out of the way as like you lose your footing, and you, like, launch this hammer trying to throw it forward, and you end up throwing it sideways, and it falls over the side of the arena. But as there's this awkward moment of silence that kind of overtakes the room, you watch as on the other side of the arena, the hammer once again reappears. This time, instead of it being made out of stone, it appears to have been remade out of, like, a sculpture of ice. So it appears to be able to repeat itself. You feel a small vibration as this plateau shakes. You see a couple of small cracks form along the inside of the circle that you're all kind of standing in, mirroring each other. You kind of look down and you see as this tremor continues, probably for about a total of like 15 seconds, it eventually comes to a stop. The cracks no more than maybe a half of an inch wide. You can't really see anything down from them. The surface that you're on is pretty solid, but you feel as though maybe this shouldn't happen again. Maybe this. Yeah. But it reappears on the other side.
Oops. Didn't mean to throw it off the side.
Come on, it's like a 1 in, what is it, like 1 in 400 chance now?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like I could do it again, right? Ready, Ebron? Tried that again, or do you want to try throwing it, or maybe we don't try
What
throwing
if we just grab it and then like leave the handle facing us? We walk in the middle, you just grab it and kind of take it away. I don't know.
it? Or wait, why am I trying to throw? Why don't? If I could have like Shadow me pick it up, we both just walk to the center, and then hand it off.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So I try to grab the hammer again.
Okay. You would be once again able to kind of align yourself and pick up this this metaphysical hammer from your side.
And then I want to try and kind of slowly make my way towards the center, make sure that the ice isn't cracking more. Just be cautious.
Okay. As you carrying this invisible weight in your hands, you would be successfully able to make your way forward, and you would watch as Shadow Athros, to a T, mimics your every movement, carrying the physical icy hammer in their hands. If you're meeting them in the middle, or I mean, you would, wherever you want to be, they will mirror that an equal distance away.
Yeah, so meet in the middle.
You can see the wonderful hair that is on Shadow Athros's head.
It's beautiful and ambiguous.
It is glorious with the same level, yeah. And then you would see Ebron with his long Shadow Ebron's wonderful braided beard, but definitely more so made of ice, so it's not nearly as beautiful as the current Hedrun. You are in the middle.
So yeah, then I guess we're in the middle. So I don't actually have anything in my hand.
Correct.
Trying to think.
So like hold out one of your hands.
Well, that's what I'm trying to think, because
Then
he's
act
gonna
like
mirror
you're
me exactly.
passing the
So
one hammer.
but yeah, like if I reach out with one hand, like what happens as our hands would touch one another?
Okay. As you extend your hand outward, if you were to extend your hand like as far forward as you could, eventually the two of you, like, you would feel a physical contact of this icy Shadow Athros come into contact with your hand, as if you're literally like placing your hand upon a mirror.
Okay, so
But, like,
it would like physically stop me. It's not like our hands would pass through each other, because it's not an actual shadow. It's just a mirrored version of me.
Correct.
Okay. So then I have like the hammer in one hand. My other hand is empty. I basically tilt the hammer down at an angle, so it'd be like the head of the hammer of my hammer would go into Shadow Athros's open hand. And then likewise, Shadow Athros would do the same, and the real hammer would then go into my open hand, my other open hand. Correct?
Correct. As you tilt the the invisible weight that is this hammer, you would be able to, if you extend it outward to try and grab the other, like the physical icy hammer, you would be able to place your hands upon it. He would reach out to grab the invisible one, and his hand would wrap around in the same way that yours would wrap around the. Oh wait, no, I did that wrong. Yeah, because the two of you would mirror each other. So if you tried to place your hand upon their hammer, your hand would meet their hand.
That's where I'm trying to like cross the hammer. So it's not like I'm putting my hammer on my own hand. I'm going at an angle. So my hammer is not actually real. There's nothing there, correct?
Correct. There is nothing there at all.
So as it's going down, like more or less across the center line.
I see what you're doing.
Mine's not actually touching anything because mine's not real, but his would come across at an angle. So it'd be almost like they're crossing hands. So my right hand would be going to his left hand. His right hand would be going to my left hand.
Okay. I see what you're trying to do. I think. Hold on. Doing math in my head here.
Yeah. Where's an actual mirror so I can...
Yeah, I know, right?
I think...
So he's having Shadow Aethros angle the hammer to where it's going to lay into his open hand.
Yeah.
And then he's moving his fake hammer that he has his to go into Shadow Aethros' open hand that I imagine you're going to close, open.
Oh, I got it now.
And then you'll hold the hammer that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I figured out what you meant by the angle now. Okay.
So yeah, would you have to like angle it down or like up? So that way it doesn't like.
So I don't actually have.
You're trying to
in my hand.
Right. You're trying to angle this metaphysical hammer so it crosses essentially the horizon line, the place where the two of you meet. Yes. Okay. I got you now. I was thinking of it the complete wrong way.
Okay.
As you would do this, the angling it in such a way, you would see the physical, whether it was the handle of the hammer that you're angling his direction, the physical one would angle in your direction, and your free hand, you would physically be able to place your hand upon this, upon the handle of the physical hammer. It would successfully cross the line.
Okay, so then I grab the head of the hammer, let go of my fake hammer, look at Shadow Aethros, take one step back, make sure he backs up too.
He would back up in the same way you would.
I turn around to Ebron, I think this is it, and then I start walking back to him, but I keep an eye on Shadow Aethros just to make sure nothing else is gonna happen.
As you continue walking backwards, and you turn around to keep an eye on Shadow Aethros, you would watch as he mimics you the same way. So just as you're skeptical of him, he's very skeptical of you, but unlike you, he's holding absolutely nothing in his hands as he's walking back. So it's just him, he reminds me of a guy, he's like that little guy from Lord of the Rings, like Gollum, where he's just super skeptical, looking over his shoulder, but yeah, as you...
My precious.
Yeah, pretty much, but there's nothing in his hands to be precious about. As you would successfully be able to make your way, back to the line of which you started, the archway that you had started at. You would see that on the opposite end of the archway, now that you have this icy hammer in your hands, there seems to be a small pedestal that was not there when you started, that has grown out of the stone because you seemingly have claimed the hammer. But it would be just after you exit the archway. So not on the inside, but on the outside, like the ring where the rest of your party members would be waiting.
Were we able to watch this?
Yeah.
I'm very unsure. I didn't expect the first part to work. So Aethos is at this point at the edge of his wits. He's like, so I just leave, right, Ebron?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't
You
know.
got the
They
hammer.
probably had
They're
a
not
frost giant.
attacking us.
Yeah, like
Well, remember, not every trial is gonna
yeah.
ensue violence. I would
I mean, you could
assume,
smash
maybe.
the shadow if you really wanted to.
Wait,
Oh, would he
Ebron
smash me
takes-
with invisible hammer?
Yeah.
Ebron takes out one piece of gold. What does my guy do on the other end?
As you pull out a physical piece of gold, your Shadow Ebron tries to mimic that same expression and pulls out nothing. But in his hands, it looks like it should be a piece of gold, but there's nothing there. His hands are in a position as though there should be a piece of gold there.
Damn. All right, we're not getting extra money from this one, so I'll put the piece of gold back. Yeah, I mean, we got what we wanted. I say let's leave.
Yeah,
It seems too
Yeah.
simple, but
Th-
I mean,
that's where I don't know if my dumb brain broke.
let me
this
roll.
challenge.
Let me investigate real quick.
Yeah,
Can you help me with that?
sure.
The two of you put your brains together. You know, looking at this situation, it's it's understandable to be skeptical given the level of difficulty that you were kind of expecting walking into it. A simple solution isn't always expected, but inside this ring, and being able to claim said hammer, you get a feeling that there were probably a couple different ways that you could solve this, and sometimes just having that insight to try maybe sometimes less obscure methods can in and of itself be the right answer.
I think this is one of those scenarios where less was more, and where we normally go for just pure violence. I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I probably die, and you just have to redo it over in a month. I'm cool with leaving.
So all right, let's go through the archway.
Yeah.
Aethos is still very unsure. He's like, there's some
I'll
catch.
go.
There's,
I'll go in front of you. That way, if something happens,
Okay.
I die. So
yeah, 'cause,
I'll
like,
step
what
in
if I
front
went
of
through
him, and then-
first, and then all of a sudden the platform disappears because like the hammer's gone? So yeah, maybe.
and I can't
maybe that's-
fly, and you can. So yeah,
that's
I'll
very
go through
true.
the archway first.
Okay. Ebron, in a, while skeptical, somewhat triumphant mentality, you take your step through the archway, and there is maybe a slight jump of panic as the Shadow Ebron walks through the archway on their end and immediately falls apart into tiny cubes of ice, some of which like fall off the backside of the plateau itself.
Do we see that?
You would, if you walked through and heard it, you could turn around and you would see it happen. But you yourself would be physically fine walking through the doorway.
Oh, I was gonna act like I died.
I mean, you're more than welcome to try and fucking scare him. That's
Do a
totally
performance
fine.
check.
Damn it! So I would fall and
Well-
act like I died, tongue out and everything.
So would that
You're not
make it-
believing this, are you?
Want to roll insight on that?
Yeah. Can I
Yeah.
get another crit fail on something?
That would be the best
Right.
time to do it. Totally.
That's what I'm hoping for, honestly. Boy, oh boy, it's just struggling.
There's no middle ground. As Ebron,
Tongue out
as
and
you
everything.
like, you turn around and you like
just-
see this Shadow Ebron like dissipate and like not dissipate, but like shatter into a million small cubes of ice. You see Ebron fall to the ground, but it's really hard to get that past you. You've seen enough dead people in your time traveling in the north here to know that he's definitely not dead.
Oh. Well, I can't use animate dead on you, I guess. All right. And I walk through the archway.
I'll get up, kind of walk like a zombie for a
Yeah.
little bit. Behind
As,
him.
as you walk through the archway, same thing as what happened with Shadow Ibrin. Shadow Athros shatters into a ton of pieces of ice, and there's no other negative repercussions that seem to happen. Once again, upon walking through the archway, you just hear the sound of the voice claim the hammer, and then the pedestal on the other side gives off a slightly purple hue, indicating some form of magic, but you don't get any hostile feelings from it.
Do we both hear the hammer or just him?
Just Athros.
So then I still have the like stone hammer in my hand.
Was it stone or is
Place
it
it on-
ice?
So the
Oh yeah,
pillar,
it would. We came back as ice, right?
yes, because the first one flew off the edge, the second one came back as ice.
So walking through the archway versus crumbling, it still is ice.
It is still a hammer made of ice.
Interesting.
Go to place the hammer on the pedestal.
As you place the hammer on the pedestal, its handle downward, allowing the the head of the hammer to be that which is closest to you. You watch as the pedestal shrinks into the ground, pulling a decent chunk of the hammer with it. The purple hue that you had begun to see grows a bit more. You would watch as it envelops the archway and forms like a ring all the way around the pedestal. And then you hear what sounds like almost like a church bell, a singular audible dong, as the hammer stays within the ground on the stays within the sunken ground, and there is once again the vibrations and the tremors, but unlike last time where you felt things falling apart, you kind of turn and see and like look at some of the cracks that are on the ground, and they seem to be reforming themselves back together. You feel very strongly that you have completed the second trial.
I will
Alright.
hold a hand up towards Athos and be like, hey, good job. That was surprisingly easier than I thought it was gonna go.
Yeah, I would. I don't know. I don't know what I was concerned about. Like that was scarier than the frost giant. I at least knew what the frost giant was going to try and do.
You would hear Irini
And then yeah, I give you a high
chime in.
five. If you,
I think we tend to overthink things sometimes, guys.
which is really weird for me.
And you
Usually
would hear,
thinking
oh
is not
no,
my strong suit.
you guys are so smart. Great job. I knew you were the
Yeah.
smartest person in the group, Athros.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I am the smartest person in the group. And yeah,
Hey, I've been saying that the whole time. You would hear, oh no, just like chiming in. Isn't that right, Kitty?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rolled an insight to see if he was actually the smartest person in the group.
I mean, I genuinely believe it, so there's no deception there.
Yeah. Insight
mean-
on whether Ono was telling the truth. Actually, yeah, I want to roll an insight to see if Ono was telling the truth. Like, has he been lying to me?
Oh, back to back nat 20s. I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
You feel pretty good that Ono wouldn't deliberately lie to you. That you've had a lot of really good ideas over this time, and he, even if there might have been like something in there of him trying to make himself feel smarter, you tend to have a lot more ideas that are a little more down to earth than what he has sometimes. You feel pretty confident
Yeah,
that when he
somewhat.
says you're one of the smartest guy in the group, there's probably some truth to that.
Yeah. I'm street smart, not book smart.
Either way, the word smart applies.
Yeah. All right. On to the next challenge.
Yeah. Who are you taking this time? What's the last challenge?
The trial of
The
willpower.
Constitution. Yeah.
So Constitution.
You know, I'm gonna take Ono for this one.
Okay. You would see that Irene and Miris do not seem to mind the fact that you have chosen Ono over them. They kind of just like look at each other and just kind of shrug. They're like, it's okay. The last one seems to involve drinking that purple liquid or something with it. I don't really want to ingest things that, well, aren't really familiar to me.
Alright, I don't have to take anyone, do I?
Not necessarily. You could do it by yourself.
You thinking about going by yourself, bud?
I don't know if...
I mean, I could probably link with you if you need a voice in your head.
Would I know if Ono's race gives him any benefit to, like, drinking or poisons or, like, toxics?
Let me look that up first, and I might have you... You might know something, because you traveled with him for a little while. He's been pretty open with you about who he is.
It's not like he's a dwarf where it's well known that they have good constitution. Yeah.
You would know, kind of traveling with him, and honestly, like in your past, you've encountered other gnomes before, so it's not like this is like 100% a hidden thing. But you would know that gnomes, unlike dwarves that have a lot more resistance to things that are physical, gnomes seem to have a lot more resistance to things that are magical. So usually, if it's something that involves some form of magic spell, he has a lot more defenses for that. Not so much for physical things like potions or poisons or stuff like that.
Magic potions and magic poisons.
If they were considered magic, then he would probably have saves against it for because it's specifically saving throws.
Okay.
I will give you that much. Whether or not is a...
You know what?
Yeah, there's a difference between a check and a save for this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'll leave it up to Ono. If he wants to come with, he's welcome to. Yeah. If Irene and Miris were kind of like, they didn't want to go, I'm not going to push them. I'll go alone if no one wants to go with me. Just, yeah. Eber and Victoon can't go with me.
What if I put on a fake mustache? That I might be able to.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking the second challenge was probably the one that I should have done by myself, but... Oh well.
I feel like we might have been able to cheese it, but...
I feel like we did... It was fairly easy, that second challenge. But yeah, just...
It was just a lot of overthinking. You would hear Ono chiming in. I mean, I look at it as... do I think you need it? No, I think you're very durable on your own, Aethros.
As I start flexing, yeah, I am.
I mean, just look at those muscles. They're so big. I can't even... He like tries to like grab it with his hands, like I can't even figure out my hand around those. As he but maybe that's just attributed to my small hands. Anyway, if you feel that you could do it by yourself, I feel confident that you probably can. But I just thinking about these trials, and in the rules they do specify that you can bring someone. I do wonder if they want, like, they intend that for a reason. Like, why would they call it out otherwise? You know?
I would think it would make it easier. I just don't know, like, is it unnecessarily bringing someone in the path of danger?
I mean, we're all pretty fine. I mean...
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? One of us dies? Let's do it.
Right. I mean, you can just do it. You can just bring them back.
Yeah, and if I die, then I'm just dead.
Yeah, then we'll find a new Aethros.
We're
or
in the
just
north.
have a twin brother, or...
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Hey, we're in the north. It's cold here. Your body will probably be preserved for a long time. We could probably bring you all the way back to Brinchander and convince Mishan to do something, I'm sure.
and your little brother, Kathros?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just a mustachioed Aethros or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. I agree. What's life with a little bit of adventure?
Yeah.
What's things with a little challenge? You're so smart. Okay. As you would like make your way back to the central hub, let's call it, of like where the challenges have been, where you've kind of been basing everything out of, where the stone pillar that has your list of like rules and instructions seems to lie. As you accepted the challenge, this one seems to primarily be focused no farther than maybe 15 feet from where the pillar itself is. Sorry, a bit belchy right now. As when you had accepted the challenge, a large pillar of ice filled with a purple liquid and a raven's skull had appeared. As you return to the center here, would see that it is still standing in the middle. You can see that the pillar of ice that kind of rose out of the ground seems to be emanating in and of itself just a light purple hue. Again, not giving off anything hostile. The substance that is inside the small bowl, like engraved out of ice at the top here, is still liquid. The raven skull is at the bottom of this maybe 6-inch deep dish. It's kind of like that scene in Harry Potter with Harry and Dumbledore forcing him to drink water. For visual reference, I suppose.
Yeah. Alright, so he gets this and it's just, we gotta drink it? We gotta empty the bowl?
I mean, I don't know. I guess we could figure it out. Figure it out as we go. We're pretty good at that.
Yeah. So it's a purple liquid. Can I do a medicine check to see if I recognize this as any type of toxin? Like purple worm toxin? Or something similar?
Yeah, sure, I'll allow it.
Okay. Because I actually am proficient in medicine, so... Oh.
So the toxins that you've seen previously, like in your clerical training and like even in some of your like adventures leading up to you joining the party, this doesn't feel familiar. Like you've been talked to by members of like your clergy of the different kind of poisons and like how to heal them. This one doesn't seem to fit like the physical description of a poison that you've encountered in the past.
Okay. So... Oh no, you wanna drink first, or should I?
What if we drink it at the same time? 1, 2, 3, and then we pound it. Wait, no, we can't do that because of the skull. If you want me to drink it first, I could drink it first.
So there's a little skull at the bottom?
A little skull. Yeah, it's a raven's skull that it seems to have, like, to be used as maybe the cup to drink from.
Oh, it's the vessel that the poison's in. Or the liquid's in.
It would be something that you could like use to ingest said poison. Like there's the bowl. The bowl itself is like maybe 15 inches in diameter.
Oh,
and then at the bottom of the bowl is the raven's skull.
So here's what I'm thinking, if I'm remembering correctly. We still have that like decanter of like endless liquid that we haven't put anything in, right? That we got way long ago. I think Ono has it in his inventory.
Yeah. I do believe I still have that. Yes. And he like digs through his pack and he would pull out the decanter. It's been used for a couple of different things. 'Cause you can
Okay.
change the liquid inside, but he hasn't
Yeah.
changed the liquid today. So you'd be able to change it today, and he would make that known.
So this is where I don't know if it's a really bad idea. Like if we are supposed to drink all the liquid, and if we were to like, put all of this purple liquid in the decanter that's endless, that should mean we have to drink an endless amount of this purple stuff? Or would it just go away because it's going to like a pocket dimension? I don't know.
Well,
I think I'm overthinking this like the other challenge.
I feel like we might be right. I feel like if we're worried about needing to drink all of it, what if we start by taking a singular, like a shot's worth out of that raven's skull? What if we just drink a little bit and see if anything bad happens? If we know if something bad's gonna happen, and then go from there.
I think. Yeah. I pull out my mess kit, and there's like 2 shot glasses in there because Athros is a classy man, and
Fair.
I poured 2 shots of this purple liquid.
Okay.
Give one to Ono. I'm like, cheers to not dying, and then slam it down.
Okay. You and Ono have to make a Constitution check.
Constitution ability check. Normal. Oh. Yep.
I didn't even look at your roll, so now I'm scared.
Listen,
I
that's
have
2
advantage on
trials
this,
in a row,
right?
man.
You
Yeah,
should be scared.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Silvery barbs.
Wait.
So Ono did a pretty good job. Okay. Okay.
I got a 4.
Out
I
of
mean,
all of it,
a 4's not bad, right? Yeah.
out of all
yeah,
of this,
I
I
got a
wasn't
4.
expecting this. Give me a hot second here. I gotta improvise for a second. I planned for other things. I did not plan for you to crit fail.
Twice.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I got it. Okay. You. Hold on.
Die instantly.
Calling the encounter table.
As you, so as you and Ono pound back this this purple liquid, he looks to you, and looks at the glass. He looks down at himself. He looks up to you. You begin coughing uncontrollably, as this goes down the wrong pipe, and it hurts to cough and to get this back up out of your lung chamber. I would say you're easily stuck in this coughing fit for probably about 30 almost solid seconds, to the point where you're exhaling so hard it's hard to inhale. You take 19 necrotic damage.
Oh, I got a resistance to necrotic, so I take half that. That's
Yep.
fine.
So you take half of that, and the party would watch. The party would watch as what things are going to differ between Athros, Ono, and then the rest of the party, probably here going forward, because the party will watch as Ono and Athros both immediately fall to the ground after that coughing fit is over. So it takes about maybe 45 seconds to kick in, and the party would watch as Athros and Ono fall over onto the ground. Athros and Ono, however, you feel as though you're disconnected from something that's weighing you down. Your vision shifts from this white and blue and brown that you're seeing from this plateau in the ice to it would be grayscale. everything you see right now is black and white and gray. The world around
So
you...
this is what Big Toon sees.
I gotta change my music for this one. It's just taking a hot second. Okay, I feel better now. Okay, as you look around and you see this, the hub-like area that you've been on this central plateau, you can see the party looking at kind of what's going on. Time for the two of you comes to a very, very... It becomes slow-moving. The two of you look at each other, and the two of you are physically able to interact with each other. Ono would, look down at his body and look at you, Athros, and be like, did we die?
Oh yeah, we're definitely dead. Not
Okay.
making it any better.
Okay. I want you... Yeah, okay.
Deception check?
I can't... Yeah, it's just that if you're trying to lie right now, make a deception check for me, because Ono is definitely trying to see through that.
She's like, yeah, just joking around. Sure, we're dead.
So, Ono rolled... Revealing to everyone, Ono rolled an 18. And so he looks at you, is like, okay, I don't think we're actually dead. I think you're just playing with me, Athros. As the two of you, you would watch as protruding from your chest is this, looks to be a small, and one of the few things you'll see in color this entire interaction, a small golden thread that extends outward and leaves each of your bodies and connects together in the middle. As the thread connects together, forming out of what seems to be a small murder of ravens that has come, you're not quite sure where, and kind of landed in the plateau while this is happening. You see as they kind of fly upward into each other, forming the appearance of a person. As they flutter and form this humanoid-like figure, you watch as it begins to stabilize. And what was ravens now officially extends outward as a true humanoid individual that stands, I would say, maybe 10 feet away from each of you. The figure itself, a feminine in nature person, wearing a black and white hooded robe. You look at this individual, this figure standing before you, and other than the black and white robe and this golden thread that seems to link the two of you together, the only other item of color that you see is from beneath the shadow of her robe. You see a singular crimson-looking eye and a set of red lips. I'm gonna get you an image for frame of reference. I just gotta get my Pinterest up. As the two of you are you're in a bit of a... time for you is kind of almost at a standstill. Give me just 1 second. Okay. I promise I'm hurrying. Okay, I posted it to campaign art. The woman in the black and white robe.
Okay. So, not giving off vibes, because the crimson eye made me think of the Child of the Red Sun.
You do not feel like it is the Child of the Red Sun.
Or
Don't even have to roll for that one. You don't feel the hostility that the Child of the Red Sun gave you. As the thread of fate connects between the two of you, like you and oh no, the figure would walk towards each of you. The final challenge. A test of willpower. The hope to claim Spirit Breaker. Hammer forged by the Raven Queen. A relic of the past. An item of great power. An item to be bound to individuals until they one day pass from this plane to be judged in accordance of their faith. I see we have new challengers. What brings you, travelers from afar, two bound for different reasons beyond this single golden thread, to Raven's Point?
We want the hammer to kill a bad person?
To kill a bad person, or to purge one of that which does not belong.
I'm gonna be real honest. I'm not the brains of the operation. I don't know for sure. I just know I need to smash someone with this spirit hammer. And I point to Ono like he might know more about what's going on than me.
And like Ono would he would look at you. There'd be like a small bead of sweat that's kind of like coming down his brow. We want this hammer to help, and one of our former friends, well, I guess she's really not a former friend, she's just kind of taken over by another person. We want to save her and also do what he said, smash an evil person. And we think that this hammer might be, well, beneficial for us to be able to make that happen. And one of our friends, he like looks behind and like points to the Irini, who is at a standstill right now. Irini, she's pretty cool. She told us that we could find this hammer here, and when we got here, wasn't really expecting. I kind of was expecting, maybe not always expecting these challenges. So I'm kind of nervous right now. I can't tell if I'm dead or alive. I think I might be alive, but I'm kind of nervous. But yeah, we need it for other reasons. And he would you would see the figure. There's like a small grin that comes over her face. It has been easily over 800 years since the last person has wielded Spirit Breaker itself. This is its resting place. This is where it returns to should someone die. Should its chosen wielder that has completed the trials perish through some means. It is nice to see someone in need of its support once again as it returned to its dormant state. You are here to complete something that takes, for many, the gullet of a dwarf to fulfill. It is not a poison that you had ingested. It is a potion created by those that follow the Raven, known as Raven's blood. A substance that makes the body fall into a near-death state. Do not worry, you're not dead. And she like pauses for a moment. Yet. But hopefully your friends on the outside will understand this and not jump to the worst case conclusion. You see, the two of you have a quest before you, issued by me. Looking into your hearts, I see two different paths to follow. This quest is not so much a true challenge to overcome. More so, how deep are you willing to go? How deep can you go to get information that maybe you need? Looking into your hearts, as I've said, I see 2 routes you could pursue. Rest assured, you must pursue one route together. There is no splitting and looking in different directions. The thread of fate binds you together. She takes a few steps back, and she, from her palms that she had below the robe, she pulls them apart and holds them out palm upward to in front of you. Like I said, a couple feet away. One hand, you watch as a small ball of blue energy begins to form, and in the other hand, a ball of purple energy begins to form. She focuses on the blue one for a moment. It appears your quest, this ideal you pursue, to quote the gnome in front of me, oh no, it's you, to purge the evil that is Hedrun the Ice Witch from this world, while simultaneously saving your friend. There is information you do not have that will be of benefit for you to know, which I can provide, should you choose to pursue this route. On the other hand, and she focuses on the purple sphere in her right hand. There is also another threat looming in the distance as well. One you had thought was disposed of before, but has since resurfaced. That of the shadowy elf known as Derogniel, who is, well, pursuing plans of his own, here within the Icewind Dales. Each of these I can provide information for, but it requires you, the 2 of you, to drink deeper and descend. How far are you willing to continue this state that you're in, this near-death experience? Death is not always a bad thing. At times, it can provide us with the most amount of enlightenment we could ask for. The monks of the White Raven on the plain of Calron use this as a way to ascend. We, here in the land of Vas'Kai, use it for other purposes. But the fundamental principle is the same. To seek knowledge that you do not know, you must dive deep. This is not a measure of your body's ability to purge this out of your system, but rather, how long can you keep it within yourself before it will purge itself on its own? And she primarily looks to you, Aethros. Some of us might have a more difficult time than others. Referencing your coughing fit, no more than a few moments prior. When you are ready, for whichever route you choose, step forward, place your hand upon the sphere, and descend. And as if forming from below her, the ground seems to shift from that of the solid stone surface of the plateau. It kind of bends and buckles below her, shattering and falling down into what feels like a pool of blood as she disappears into this small, maybe 4 foot in diameter circle, leaving you and Ono tied to your thread of fate to make a decision. What do you have I mean, I'm okay with either way we go. I feel that there's info we could have for both situations. I mean, she's not wrong. Derogniel, that shadowy man, he's still alive doing something, but it's also good to know what we should do about Hedrun I mean, if she's making a ritual to bring herself back, we don't really know what we need to do to stop it.
Yeah.
Besides, keep her from getting Sienna. It might be good to know that information if she can provide it, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like it would be nice to have more information on Hedrun. And I also feel like we'll just cross paths with Drodiel at some point in the future, right? Like, he's probably got a vendetta against us. We killed him, we turned him into a shadow person, blah blah blah. He's mad at us, right? He's gotta. So he'll come looking for us, I feel like. But Hedrun, I don't know. I feel like it'd be nice to know more about her.
I'll follow your lead.
Alright, let's go.
As you step forward towards the blue sphere of some form of arcane energy. Again, one of these few things that have any form of color. Do you place your hand upon it? What do you want to do? How do you want to interact with it?
How big of a sphere did you say it was?
The sphere itself is probably a total maybe 4 inches in diameter. It's not that big. It's like the size of like a Dragon Ball from DBZ.
Okay. Aethos is gonna try and eat it.
Okay. Okay.
Just.
As. Okay, Don.
Why not?
So it is a physical object that you can interact with. Are you just gonna like grab it in your hand and just like shove it in your mouth? Or are you just gonna stick your mouth forward and just like chomp, chomp, chomp in the air?
I'm gonna try and just chomp into it, like stick my mouth forward, like
Okay.
Yeah.
Aethros, I would say you're going to make your Constitution check right now.
Okay.
I swear, if you roll another nat 1,
Okay. So, as you would successfully be able to take your first bite out of this arcane, like, ball in the air, and you would... What is interesting is, as you take that first bite, you feel as though... It feels like you and Ono had taken that at the exact same time. So, as you take this first bite, because we're making our first round of Constitution check, I'm going to explain to you what you have as a resource by having an ally here. So,
Okay.
your checks themselves, you have, because you are magical in nature, and you are in this state here, and you have the cantrip guidance. Essentially, the way this challenge works is between the beginning and the end, there's going to be a total of 3 Constitution checks. Each check will take you a little bit deeper, possibly get you more information. You'll have more time to interact with this priestess person. But having an ally, as you and the ally, if you both pass your check, I'm not telling you what the DCs are because that's part of the challenge, but if you both pass your check, there is a bonus that you get to your specific rolls at the end of each challenge. And the more you succeed, the better that bonus becomes as the DC for the challenge gets harder. If you are worried that Ono might not pass his Constitution check, you, for one of the 3 rolls, can give him guidance to add guidance to one of his final rolls without knowing the end result of the check. So like if he rolled like 5 and you think the DC might be an 8, you could you could give him a guidance. Or like if you rolled a 10 and you're not sure if that's a success, so you want him to boost it to maybe it boosts to like a 12, like you can give him guidance on his rolls. Passively, if the longer Ono dives with you, the better the bonus is for you in the end. So ideally you want your ally to be around as long as possible, but you don't know what happens if he's not with you. It might just be you have to roll these on your own, or there might be a different consequence. That part's not revealed. But the bonus to having him with you is that you'll have an easier time rolling these later.
Yeah.
So, because you took your bite, Ono is also going to make his Constitution check. And I'll make it public before I announce whether or not it was successful or not, because I want to make sure that you see them.
Yeah.
Okay. Ono also rolled a 17. So, you take your bite, and it feels as though you and Ono had both taken your bite together. As you do so, you feel yourselves, the ground below you, below this blue sphere, just like with the priestess, shatters, but instead of it being a red pool of blood, the pool appears blue in color. As you fall into it, your metaphysical body falls into this pool of water and gets sucked extremely far down, to the point where you kind of lose sight of the light that is above you. However, as you dive deeper and you fall into this, sunken abyss, you, after maybe about 10 seconds or so of rapid movement, your feet plant on the ground. You don't, as you try to breathe in this spiritual, ghost state, you don't feel as though there's any water in your lungs or anything. It feels as though this was merely your body pulling you deeper, to kind of understand, moving forward deeper into this challenge. As when you plant your feet on the ground, you and Ono, this area being illuminated by your golden thread that links the two of you together, you would see the priestess standing before you. Unlike before where you could see the plateau, all you see, maybe beyond a 30-foot radius of each of you, is shadow and darkness. But in front of you, alongside the priestess, you would see what looks to be some form of pedestal with a raven outstretched as if ready to take off up into the sky. The two of you have drank and descended. And the path you have chosen is that of Hedrun. Currently, the foe you wish to seek your answers for. Either choice would have brought you to a similar state of mind. But I see now where your priorities lie, and they are not misplaced. Athros, oh no. What do you know of an organization known as the Black Moon?
Nothing?
I think Miris might have mentioned them once. Something about looking for a book in the library about them, but I don't think he really told us what they were about. The Order of the Black Moon is an ancient society that long predates most civilization that we know. Predates many of the gods coming to Vas'Kai. Its relevance to Hedrun is that of her resurrection. The Order of the Black Moon had found ways to continue on life without simulacrums, without cloning, without becoming a lich. They had found a way to take over another person's entire existence through a ritual that Hedrun now possesses the ability to cast. This ritual is known as the art of Crimson Soul Salvagery. It would allow her to switch places, switch consciousness, everything, with a physical body as the sacrifice, The physical body would maintain all of its traits while switching entirely with Hedrun and her power. The body acts as a catalyst. This is why her finding Sienna was extremely important, why finding the third sister of Maitra and your former ally, Attina. You notice that she knows this information without having to ask you any of it. It appears that she's been reading into memories that you might have had leading up to now. There are 4 aspects to this ritual, most of which you all are familiar with your interactions with her on Kelvin's cairn. The first piece are the large pillars that are gathering arcane energy that she has scattered across the north. Of the 10 towns in the north, she has assembled at this point, and as you're here trying to claim the hammer, a total of 6. 6 is sufficient for her to be able to complete the ritual, though I would not put it past a woman of her abilities to request more. Have her simulacrum create more. The second piece is the blood of her kin. She is a spirit inhabiting an undead host. Currently, while power is limited, she's essentially immortal in her own right. As you know, based off your interactions, she had claimed the blood of Ibrin, the elf that travels with you. Ibrin, a long descendant of the Eroth clan, that which she is a part of. The third piece is the favored of the divine. I do believe some of your friends, and she would you would watch as she projects her hands outward in front of the pedestal, and you would see essentially a floating image, a projection of that of your current party members. So Bictune, Ibrin, etc., who aren't here right now. She would point to those who had experienced a dream relating to her. That of, I believe it was Bictune, Athros, and Irini, I think, experienced that dream. She would look at those 3 and make them known to you and Ono. They have seen her collect Phrygus, the current chosen of Oro. A feat only possible by limiting her power itself. And she would, in her hand, using some form of magic, project the image of a small blue sphere, that which contains a 6-pointed snowflake in the middle. Phrygus is currently locked in a frozen prison within a small crystalline sphere, the chosen of Oro, to be used for the sacrifice. The final piece is that of Sienna, the living body. With these 4 items, upon initiating the ritual, should it go interrupted, Hedrun would be able, in sacrificing Sienna and Phrygus' spirit, be able to bring herself back. Not just at the strength you have met her at now, but at the strength she had nigh almost 2,000 years ago. The former chosen would become the current chosen, through no choice of Oro, but I'm sure to her desire. There is more that you must know, more information that I can provide you. But once again, you must drink deeper. You must descend. and she would once again open up below her a small pool of unlike before where it was red, it would be a small pool of blue liquid of some sort. The ground would crumble inward into it, and she would step backwards into this pool and dive inside. You would hear a voice, the voice that she has been projecting, emanate in the back of your head since she's not here. Drink deep and descend. Ono would look to you, Athros. Well, this don't sound great, but
No.
some of this we kind of knew, which is interesting, but we didn't know what this ritual was called, and I don't know if Miris would know more information on it, or if it's something he's interested in, but it sounds really not good.
Yeah. It also seems like she wasn't amused with me taking a bite out of the last sphere. She told us to drink. Yeah. Felt like we knew most of that. And I feel like if we go back now, or we don't keep going, we didn't really gain much here, so we kind of gotta go, right?
I feel like we should. I feel like...
Yeah.
She said it's not a poison. She said it's a potion of some sort. I don't know where she said it was referenced from, but that's not really important. It sounds like it puts the body in a near-death state, so everyone else might be freaking out right now, but I don't think we're gonna die. I think if we just let ourselves go, we'll be fine. But it's more so, like she said, this is free information.
Yeah, but how much time will have passed potentially? Like, I mean, we might appear to be dead or like be frozen for minutes, hours, days, months, years. Who knows? That might be the price of this information.
As the two of you are conversing in this state, Bigtune and Ibrin, you would have watched as Ono and Athros had just fallen over at the same time after Athros had his coughing fit, and are currently lying motionless on the ground.
Okay, so they're dead.
Well, I mean, in theory, even if this is part of the test, we can't go in and interfere. Otherwise, we'd have to wait a whole month for this hammer, so... I'm just gonna let whatever they're doing happen, and we'll have to figure it out from there, but... I mean, yeah, if it goes on, a day or so, they're probably dead.
And here, hang on. Let me see here. God, I definitely picked the wrong laptop today.
It's okay.
It's just, Foundry is just not bueno on here. Okay, maybe they aren't dead.
Yeah.
As you kind of stare at their bodies that are laying on the ground, you notice the ever so slightest rise and fall of Ono's chest. Not full on deep breaths by any means from what you've seen him do for just on his day-to-day basis, but it seems like it's just enough to keep him alive.
All right, whatever. And I turn to Ibrin, and I guess the rest of it. I mean, who else is all here with us?
So it would be, I believe it's Ibrin, Irini, Miris, and you are the four who went, because Spit and Undead Sheriff stayed behind at the lightning tank.
I got a weird shiver on my spine, though, like they must have been talking about me or something.
I hold up my playing cards and say, anybody want to play?
Irini would just look at you and be like, shit, I'm game.
I might continue to watch this.
Yeah. As you kind of get your playing cards out and get ready to play.
Oof.
Oh,
okay.
Efficiency? Okay.
I thought it was 6.
Let's see what Irini does. we'll do 2 hands and then pan back. Roll. As Irini, as you like lay out the cards, you play some form, maybe a Leonin homebrew rendition of like poker. You kind of like explain to her the rules, and she like your first hand whips out like a set of cards that is a very good set to have in this particular card game, winning her the first hand. She looks to you and is like, I can keep going. Like, let's do it. You want to gamble on this a little bit? You want to wager some gold, Big Tune?
Sure.
She slaps down, starting light, she slaps down 10 gold pieces.
Okay. All right, Max. I need you to help me.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you have Matra and also what's her name with you too, the old lady. Anyway, that's besides the point.
Oh yeah.
That's the max bonus of a +1, clearly.
Oof. Okay. As Irini, feeling very confident in her 10 gold hand, lays down her cards, you have this like kind of grin that comes over your face as you lay down not top tier hand for this game, but pretty good. Enough to definitely wipe the floor with Irini as you like scoop the 10 gold that she she put down on the ice towards you. And she's just like, fuck. And she would like look over to like Ibrin and like Matra, be like, "Oh, sorry, I'm trying to you know what? No, fuck, that was a bad hand." And she just like gets irritated. We pan back. Oh, sorry. After you.
Oh, I was gonna say that's what you call skill.
As we pan back to Athros and Ono, standing before this blue pool, conversing with one another. I feel like I'm curious as to what if there's any new information she can give us. I really don't know if do we know much more than this right now. We know the general location somewhere north of, I think it was Lonelywood, is where it's gonna take place. I think Frida said that's where she called it a ziggurat.
Yeah.
Was. But do we know more than that? I'm just trying not to set my expectations too high, but I don't want to give this lady
Do we need to know more than that? Like, if we know everything she needs for the ritual, we just stop the ritual, right? Like, if we come across those obelisks, we destroy them, and then we try and find this other sister. And yeah.
I know we're trying to find Ziena. That's she's apparently last seen somewhere in the forest south of the 10 trail. I just hope we're not too late. My math calculations told me that on a bad day that this would be probably the extent of, not the extent, but this would be like when she'd be arriving. If Hedrun arrived a day or two ago, she might have a lead on us getting Ziena. And I know we don't want to waste time. I know this hammer is very important. I just one of my worries is, let's say that in this hypothetical scenario, because of course we're going to stop it beforehand, but in this scenario
absolutely.
where let's say we don't get Ziena before she makes her way back to whatever, the ziggurat north of Lonelywood. If things start moving and falling into place, how do we stop it if it's already in motion? That's what I want to know.
Just magic stuff to her face. I don't know. Kill her, right? Like, or do we kill one of the sisters so that she can't take the body?
I would be lying if I said that thought didn't come across my mind. But I also don't want to hurt someone who's maybe an innocent bystander in this and is just trying to survive out here in the frozen forests.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Would you rather save one person but doom everybody else? Or sacrifice one person for the greater good?
See, deep down, I know that what I say here isn't going to matter, because I worry about what would happen with Matra if we killed her sister Ziena right in front of her. Although I guess we could be kind of discreet about it. And he would, like, whisper to you, even though there's no one else listening in this, like,
Yeah.
area here.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think anybody else in the party would care about that. If I'm being honest,
Look.
I think it might just be me having this big heart because we're all family.
I got the perfect plan. We kill her sister, and then I animate that, so she's still like back as a zombie,
You would watch as
and everyone's
Ono's
happy,
face.
right?
Ono's face goes from being super excited because you had an idea to like existential dread when you say you're gonna animate Dead. It's just like
Yeah.
just like almost. I like where your head is. I like the headspace. I don't know if I agree with that plan. I mean,
look how the sheriff turned out. He's perfectly fine, right? No one notices anything different.
I think
great.
we got really lucky in Bridgehander. And I think some people
it'll be
noticed
fine.
and just didn't want to confront you about it. You're kind of a scary guy when you're serious. I don't know if you've known that.
Well, I'm always serious. So am I always scary?
To some people you might be. I don't think you're scary, but some other people might think you're scary.
We'll have to work on that. But yeah,
I think we should see what she has to say.
Alright, one more. If she doesn't tell us anything useful, then we cut her off there. Yeah. She's got to give us something good to make it worth her while. Otherwise, we're done here.
Okay.
So then
I
I try
agree.
and drink from the sphere.
Similar to kind of how it was before, you would see that the small blue sphere once again appear. No purple sphere, nothing else except for that and the pool already like cracked below it. It just kind of hovers in place. Taking it into your hands, you feel as though like you're kind of skeptical on how I'm supposed to drink from this, but as you kind of embrace it, you watch as it goes from this almost gaseous like arcane state to that of like small trails of blue liquid that kind of hover in front of both of you, switching states of matter in front of the two of you. So now going from the gaseous aura that kind of wisps upward into the air to that of the smaller, instead of being a 4-inch diameter sphere, it's like two 2-inch diameter spheres, as if you could literally just gently like put it into your mouth, as if it's like an astronaut trying to drink water.
Okay. Yeah. So I
Here goes.
Suck down that sphere of magic.
As the two of you drink your sphere, Aethros, because the two of you succeeded on this roll, on your first roll, when you make your con check, you will also get a +3 from Ono because of his Constitution modifier. So
Okay.
you're adding his modifier to your roll.
So ability check with a +3.
Okay, very nice. And I am impressed that there hasn't had a need for anything else, but Ono rolled a 19. As the two of you ingest this liquid, you take a step forward towards this 4-foot in diameter pool of blue liquid. And as you take your last step, the ground around each of you crumbles, expanding this sphere of this pool of liquid outward even more, and you fall even deeper into this trance-like state. Once again falling for probably about 30 or so seconds and re-landing back on your feet. This time though, unlike there being a nothing but shadow before you, you would see you're in some form of structure. There are physical walls that you can see, stairways leading in other directions, doors leading into different chambers. But none of this seems familiar. You don't recognize the structure that you're in. As you look around, you see the priestess standing before you once again. On the walls of this structure, you see a large amount of writing. The writing itself appears to be celestial in nature. You can make out that it's celestial. Since you're relearning how to read or learning how to read in general, you can't really make out what the text fully means, but you can tell that it's a language that you recognize, and they seem to be pulsating, while still in grayscale, pulsating some form of magic through their texts. As the three of you, once again, the two of you tied by the glowing yellow thread of fate, she looks to each of you and then looks down at your thread. The two of you are still together. Good. The more people who know this information, the more powerful your group becomes. As you should know, Hedrun has a location that this ritual will be performed. This art of crimson soul salvagery. It is known as the Frozen Ziggurat of the North. Its true name has been lost to time. The last time it has been used was shortly after this world was created. It has served many purposes, most of which were tied to Oral or the elemental gods. You see, there are many ziggurats that line this world, each tied to a different purpose, many of which are tied to divine beings. The one in the north here, as a focus for this ritual, well, it has all of the pieces in place, or all the pieces available to Hedrun to make this ritual go forward without a hitch. Information that you all should know. While you know now the pieces and the components required to complete this ritual, you know the location. The question you should have answered, the question that this depth that you dive to is meant to answer, is, should you fail, should Sienna be taken to the pedestal, should Hedrun have all four pieces of her ritual in place, how can you stop her before things are complete? There are several items that must happen, and it will require your entire party, truly, to make sure each of these pieces fall into place. For you see, as I have mentioned, Hedrun right now is in a state of pseudo-immortality. Without her spirit being purged from the body of Attina, there is no physical way to truly kill her. Attina's body will regenerate, as is part of the ritual of ascension for the Church of Oro. Hedrun's power is limited. That much shouldn't be a problem. But there are other pieces that you need to do should the ritual start for you to officially stop her. And the first is through Spirit Breaker. You have to eject Hedrun's soul from Attina's body. which means you, and she points to you, Athros, will need to be confronting Hedrun head-on. All of the magic that is being gathered in the various towns is all going to be focused to one central point. All the focuses face the direction of the ziggurat. Should you not know where exactly to find it, one merely needs to look at where they point. Something tells me you, and she looks down to Ono, have the talent and patience to determine that factor. But as they all gather in one central point, one needs to stop all the points from gathering. And she as she says this, you feel as though your body is physically pulled throughout this structure. And you begin to realize as you're moving, your image is projected. Your spirit is currently within the ziggurat itself. You are looking at the inner linings and the inner chambers of this structure north of Lonelywood that you are seeking and hoping to find. Without moving your legs, without physically altering the position of your body, she, almost as if reaching forward and grabbing air to pull it towards her, you feel your entire body, you and Ono, you're pulled deeper into the ziggurat. There is a door with a large lock that is upon it. A lock that seems to have several layers. You phase through this door as if it wasn't there in the first place. You enter this inner chamber itself, and inside you see what looks to be a very similar sphere to what you have seen before in your interactions with both Phrygius and Hedrun. Very similar in appearance to what they usually had at the head of their staff. This large, what looks to be charlatan sphere made out of this like living icy material. While you can't see the color of it within this vision, as your vision currently, with the exception of the thread and the woman herself, is in grayscale, the charlatan spheres you've encountered before at the top of their staves were no more than a couple inches in diameter. This one is easily between 10 and 12 feet in diameter. It's not currently pulsating with any form of energy, but you do see that inside this chamber, as you are pulled towards it, you see that there is a large opening that leads to the outdoors, and you can see the clouded sky off in the distance as you look out of this chamber. As hard as it is to make out, given the general darkness of the north right now, the sphere itself, while dormant, you can tell has the ability to contain an insane amount of magic. She looks to the two of you. You must find a way to disrupt the magic from being gathered here. I'm sure your group, as resourceful as they are, can find a way to make that happen. This arcane focus can contain enough power, should it be completed. The limitations that Mistra, the goddess of magic, has put on our abilities to cast spells, those of which many of you are familiar. There is no limit. It can exceed that which should not be exceedable. With that in mind, it would probably require more pillars to make such a feat as that happen. But the pillars she has summoned, and could continue to summon, would be plenty for her to have enough arcane power to complete the art of Crimson Soul Salvatory. The last piece, and one of the most important. In order for her to be vulnerable during your fight, for you to be able to purge her soul from Attina's body. There is one more step you must complete. One that I'm sure... Sorry, I'm going to retroactively take that back. One that I hope will instill you with some form of confidence. You must slay Hedrun's remaining simulacrums. In doing this, you make her vulnerable. She hides behind the walls that she has put up now, and while her body itself, despite what you will do, will regenerate in a one-on-one combat, a one-on-two combat, however many you want to throw at her. By slaying her simulacrums, the damage that she takes will have a direct effect on her ability to maintain connection to Attina. It will make it easier for you to purge the soul from her body. You've already slain one of them, and she alters the course of your vision, and you would see once again the image, even ever so briefly, of you and Ono and the party fighting their way through the Sunblight Fortress, and Bictoon, I believe, dealing the final blow to the Hedrun simulacrum that was fighting alongside Zeradok. You've already fought one and slain one. There are a total of 2 more that must be slain, one of which you have encountered before. And she, as your vision once again shifts back to that of the ziggurat, you hear the familiar hiss of the icy serpent that you had encountered north of Goodmead. The serpent, while a formidable foe, is one of the items that binds her soul to Attina as hard as it does, an extension of her power composed of charlatan. The other, another you're familiar with, recreated to be stronger. And you would see, this time while you are still within this chamber that contains that arcane focus, you would see the door to the chamber opens. And walking through the doorway, you see, while lacking a lot of the overall physical features that he had before, the image of Sefik Caltro. Once dead, physically, recreated now out of charlatan and given more power than he had before. He is not Sefik, merely an image, but one that binds Hedrun to Attina. Should you complete these tasks, slaying the simulacrums, purging the soul, and disrupting the arcane focus, the ritual will be stopped. Hedrun will not be able to return to life. Sienna will be saved, and the North will not be plunged into darkness. At least, not a darkness that makes this look mild. However, there's more that you should know, and I request that should you desire this information, once again, drink deep and descend. As she extends to you, she takes a couple steps back once more. This time, rather than falling into a glowing blue pit, she instead disappears into that of a murder of ravens, disappearing deep into the ziggurat. But you see once again the blue sphere stand before you. As she disappears, you hear her emanate in the back of yours and Ono's mind. The choice is yours. And the room goes silent. Well, I'm not saying that we need more information, but that was new information. We did say that if she didn't give us anything new, that we would just turn around here and just let this thing purge out of our system and, maybe not scare our friends anymore. But
Yeah, and I felt like she did give a lot of good information. Oh boy. I'm leaning towards let's hear her out for what else she has to say.
I think it'd be good, even if it's like we've got a lot here. If we don't find anything beneficial from our next encounter with this lady trying to go deeper, at the very least we can walk away knowing that I feel good about us completing this challenge. I feel like she's kind of left the door open to us. I mean, we've gotten this far. I guess what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, we die again. Okay, let's do this. And then I go to cup the blue sphere. Like, yeah, we're definitely not gonna die again, right? Because we're definitely not dead right now, right?
I hope we're not dead right now. That would not be great. I don't want to be dead right now. You see, like, Ono kind of like has this like small panic come over his face. But I just no, we're not dead. We're not dead. I'm going to manifest that we're not dead, and this is going to be just fine. And he like holds out his hand as like you cup the thing, the sphere. Once again, it breaks into the two pools of liquid for you and Ono to ingest.
And I look at him like, cheers to dying again, and then drink it. Just to freak him out.
Yeah. There's like, as you say cheers to dying again, you watch as his eyes get really, really wide. And he's just like, wait, what? And then he sees like you take the drink, and he's like, oh, fuck. And he's like...
And I wink as I drink it too.
In a panic, Ono will also take a drink from the... from the liquid. Make another Constitution check, however, because you both succeeded on this next one here, you can add a +6 to your roll instead of a +3. You add double Constitution. Oh wait, yeah, your ally grants double Constitution to the roll, so you can add a +6 to your roll.
All right. Oh wait, mine didn't do the double. Oh wait. Yeah, now
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say that you have succeeded on the roll. The last DC that we had, the one that you rolled before, was a DC 15. So I'm going to leave this up to you on whether or not
so
you would
I don't
like
see
to...
Ono's roll. I just see that you rolled an ability check.
Oh, I made it public to everyone now. I'm surprised. Does everybody else see it?
It just says he's rolled.
Yep, that's all I've seen it as.
Yeah.
Oh. I tried to reveal it to everyone. He rolled a 16.
Okay, roll a 16.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give him guidance.
Okay. Okay, so that he rolled a 1 for his guidance, which would put him at a 17. As the two of you drink this liquid, we are temporarily going to pan back to Big Toon and Irini and the party, who are playing cards, or Irini and Big Toon are playing cards, while you guys are going through this deep dive into your own psyche or something. Big Toon, as the two of you, once again, you like deal out a new set of hands. Are you going to continue playing the same style of game, or do you want to change it up?
I don't care. I'll leave it up to whoever I happen to be playing against.
It would
I don't
be
know if
against
it's still Irini or not.
Unless Ibrin wanted to play cards, it'd probably still be Irini.
Nah, I'm just watching what's happening with Ono and Aethros right now.
I mean, have they looked any different at all? Or are they?
No, they're in the exact same position that they were in before.
Then I'll just probably keep going.
Okay.
Oh, my laptop is freezing a little bit.
Oh no. All right. So you have is it plus it's proficiency, so you have +3. Okay. So Irini is going to look at you and be like, I think you're just, this Leonin based game of yours, I think it's a little too familiar to you, Big Tune. And she'd like say like in a different tone, kitty, as Ono is like, knocked out right now. So let's change it up. We're gonna play a game that I learned down in the Iris and the Pupil while my dad was making money playing as a performer. I got really good at understanding the inner workings of this game called Bull's Tie. It's another card game, so we're gonna use your same deck of cards here. And she like goes and begins to explain a set of rules to you, and basically what it comes down to in layman's terms for the purposes of the game, instead of rolling a d20 and adding your proficiency modifier, you're going to roll 3 d6s and add your proficiency modifier because you have proficiency in cards. So you're rolling 3 d6s instead of a d20. Everything else is the same. So you had a +1 and a +3.
3d6 plus what? My proficiency, you said?
So you have proficiency, but you also have that +1, and I don't remember if that's tied to a specific skill. It might be one of your skill checks. Regardless, just do 3d6 +4.
Okay.
Because that's what you had for modifiers otherwise. And then Irini is going to do
/R 3d6 +4. Just in case if you didn't remember.
As Irini deals out the hand, you notice that while like the hand itself, like she explains the rules and stuff, and like while similar in a sense to like the style of card play that you played before, you notice that there's just a different in the amount of cards that you hold, and a couple of the card values like switched from low to high or vice versa. And as you lay down your first hand, understanding the rules, you feel pretty confident that you have a decent setup. But Irini lays down her cards and, with a cheeky grin on her face, looks to you and is like, "It was an okay. That was an okay first hand. It was okay, but it wasn't as good as what mine was." As she like lays down cards that will trump yours, she will take the first hand. She rolled a 17 versus a 14. This is a card game specifically that she also has proficiency in, but you have a higher proficiency because of the skill that you use. So,
Gotcha.
she will she'll look to your like the pile of gold that you have acquired from her, having lost a couple of hands to you now. How do I have a chance to maybe get some of my gold back? And she like lays down an additional 20 gold from her inventory. Let's do double or nothing.
That's it?
I mean, you want to go more? I mean, we got time. I mean, they look like they're kind of almost dead over there. They're probably not going anywhere. We got time.
Listen, I'll put 100 down.
I gotta see how much she actually has in her inventory. She would. She'll slap down another 80 gold to make it 100 in front of the two of you. High stakes gambler, huh?
Oh, you know it.
All right. And she like shuffles the cards together and she dishes out another hand. I want you to make another 3d6 +4.
Sounds good.
As just for the fact that it was within one, you feel a little more confident than you did before with the hand that you had lain down. But Irini like just shakes her head at you, and she lays down like her 3-card combo that she has. Feels good to get my money back. And she lays down a 1-card difference, but the what you thought would be a low card was of a high card value, so she ends up taking the hand once again.
Oh, that's all right. I had to let you win. I felt bad.
As she's like collecting her gold, she seems like really happy, and then you say that, and she's just like, "You did not let me win. I earned that."
Uh,
I'm gonna roll deception.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, not great.
I had Irini roll insight, and in case you can't see it, she rolled a 14.
Okay. Yeah.
So she looks at you.
Then when I know she knows that I'm lying, then I just say, yeah.
She looks to you and she's like, "You're just a dirty little liar."
Hey, just be happy. I thought about cheating, but I respect the integrity of the game. Also, you didn't teach me the rules right, so.
Just like little irritated. She like looks to you and she's like, she's trying to like verbalize what she wants to say, but she doesn't have a good comeback right now. She's like, "Yeah, well, you're a giant cat," and then she just like walks away.
you guys keep saying that, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
As we pan back to Athros and Ono, Athros, as you and Ono both take the drink from the liquid that's before you. Unlike before, you feel a something different with your connection to Ono, and as you feel yourself get pulled deeper into the pool, you watch as the thread of fate that binds the two of you together snaps, and Ono stays at the surface of the pool, like looking down at you as you descend deeper. You would see eventually Ono disappear out of your vision. The party, as Athros like descends deeper into this state, you would hear like Ono kind of like cough, and like he would like spit out like something, and you see it has like a slight purple hue, like it might have been part of the potion. And he like looks to everyone, and as he gets ready to like speak and like talk to everyone, Athros, you once again are pulled to a different location. This time, you can feel like grazing across you a slight chill from the icy winds of the north here. As you look around, compared to normal, while there is a slight breeze that's blowing the cold air around, you have a lot more visibility than you normally do here in the north. You like look to your left and to your right. You are standing on top of one of the large, like I would say, large hills that kind of envelop the Icewind Dales here from the different movements of the weather. And standing, looking over into what seems to be a former horizon, you see the priestess once again. Her hands this time, unlike before, are kind of clasped together behind her back. She looks to you as you arrive. "One of the things for this ritual, Athros, as you know, is collecting Sienna, the middle sister of the three, the Frost Druid, who you've known very little about, besides what Maitra has described to you. You were tasked, or I should say, fear from your friend Ono, and his estimations projected that he would, that Hedrun would arrive in this area of the forest. And like as you look like over the hillside, you would see that like you're on the other side of the bridge, and like the Red Run, somewhere farther to the east than where this whole pedestal is. Your spirit and hers seem to linger. Deep within this forest, there is something that awaits you. Besides the woman Sienna, I ask that you make haste once you leave here. Hedrun has already made herself known. And as she as you overlook this horizon, once again, like she did in the ziggurat, she kind of reaches forward and in a pulling motion grabs a distance and pulls it towards the two of you, and you're quickly rushed into the forest itself. Everything still continuing to be in grayscale, with the exception of a small light that is growing closer in the distance. As your body and her body are physically moving without taking steps, you're almost as if hovering above the ground, moving through the forest. This light continues to grow and grow, and it gives off a orange hue. You can hear the sound of crackling of wood. As you get even closer, you recognize this sound and sight as that of a campfire. Hedrun has embedded herself within the society that Sienna travels with. As you look at this campfire that you see before you, you see figures kind of appearing out of the forest, coming towards this campfire. You see that there are tents that are put up that are made out of animal hide, primarily elk, but there is some other animals that are kind of patched in. You see various looking individuals, ranging from what looks to be large, very muscular, while well-dressed men and women. You see what looks to be some form of almost like a shaman staring at the fire, and he takes two bones from a meal that they had eaten and throws it into the fire and waits for it to crackle. You see a couple other smaller statured individuals, that of women and younger children, between the ages of that range anywhere from 3 to 12. Total amidst this campfire, ranging in and out of the forest itself and between the trees and various tents in the area, there's probably about 50 people of varying sizes, and they kind of shout out to each other and talk to one another. But in this state, you can't hear what they're saying. It appears to not be the focus of the vision, as the only colored item you see is that of the fire. Everybody else kind of moving in and out of the background. She lifts her hand, she pulls her hand out from behind her and points forward towards one of the tents. Sitting on a fallen tree, in the middle of this camp, you see the image of a woman who has half black, half white hair, coated in various furs, and laying beside her some form of staff. Sitting next to her on the fallen tree, you see the image of Attina, the image that you had seen when she traveled with you, as well as the one that you had seen, or a couple of you would have seen, those of you who are here tonight, a few of you would have seen when you were having your dream sequence of her taking on that appearance before entering the Church of Oral and changing her form to be that of Hedrun. No, sorry, I have it backwards. In her confrontation with Phrygus, the form she took to lower Phrygus' guard. She was Hedrun when she walked in. Got it backwards. She has integrated herself into this group, and at the very least has made at least one newfound ally. I suspect for your group to find Sienna, it might take more than just finding her and eliminating her or bringing her with you and removing her from Hedrun. The time that you thought you had is limited. Within one... Sorry, I'm trying to gather my words here. I'm having a hard time because I'm also super gassy. Within the next day, Attina and Zienna will no longer be traveling with this tribe in one way, shape, or form. The amount of time you have to prevent this from happening is drawing to an end. I asked you to come deeper here to have an understanding of where to find them. The information that I have given you prior, I trust should be sufficient in stopping the ritual. As a priestess of the Raven, right now this is all I can offer. If I could do more to help, I would, but as a priestess of this faith, following the threads of fate and reading them as they come, I have to remain as neutral as possible. Though looking at the people of the North and the suffering they have experienced so far, the darkness that would come should Hedrun arrive would upset that balance. And she, turns to face you fully this time. Athros, by taking the burden of Spirit Breaker upon your shoulders, while it comes with great power and a future understanding to the extent that you might not realize now, please understand it also comes with the knowledge and the hope that one day you too might serve as someone who guards this balance between life and death. Do not carry this lightly. It is not an item that one can dispose of easily. It is not something that I would ever want a person to part with prematurely. The weight of Spirit Breaker that you carry is one that will eventually send others to find you. But it is something that I feel confident the broken will rise to the challenge of. Even in your memories, I see how strong your group is. I feel confident that with the information you've been given today and the support of your team, stopping Hedrun is only the beginning. The fate that you all carry is boundless. Each of you fulfilling a role that you might not realize at this time. Each and every one of you will have something come to fruition, and I look forward to finding it upon your own individual fated threads. Take this knowledge, return to your party, and claim that which is rightfully yours, Athros. Claim Spirit Breaker, Hammer of the Ravens. And as, you have the ability to, look around this campfire in this surrounding encampment of various nomadic people, she places a hand on her shoulder, and you feel your spirit forcibly, pushed back up through the different rings, different holes that you had traveled through, and only within a matter of moments, returning to your physical body. I would say total time difference between you and Ono would probably be about 5 minutes. As you begin returning to your body. I'm sorry, did you I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, I was just acknowledging that.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 minutes has passed.
Okay. As you have traveled downward. The rest of you would see as like Irini and Big Tune finish playing their other round of cards, and you would just hear Irini saying like, "Yeah, well, you're a big cat." Ono would like begin coughing, and he would kind of turn over and spit out a small purple-colored bit of saliva, and he would like look down at it, and he would look and like a little bit woozy from waking up after this series of events. We'll look at the party. Well, hi everyone. He is a. I'll talk to you about what cats are later, kitty. They're very special, and very fluffy and very nice. As he would look to Ibrin, who was probably the person sitting closest, like watching this whole thing happen. Hey, buddy.
Yo. Feel like you guys were talking about me. What'd you learn?
I mean, your name got mentioned. We were talking about some of the things that we kind of already knew. It was a wild experience. I didn't get to see the last part of it because our threads snapped and Athros went down deeper, and I couldn't, and I came back.
So Athros is good at going deeper. I see.
There would be a long pause from Ono as he acknowledges your innuendo. Technically, yes. We learned some information about this whole thing with Hedrun. I'm gonna, hopefully Athros comes soon. I don't know how long he'll be out yet. It wasn't a poison, it was a potion called, I think she called it Raven's Blood. Something that they make somewhere else. I don't know, but they use it for enlightenment purposes, and we got to talk to a pretty lady in a robe, and she told us a lot of things about what's going on. And as he says this, Athros, you would feel yourself snap back to your body. As you return to consciousness, it'd be similar to what Ono kind of went through. This slight feeling of wooziness. You would feel like a buildup of like saliva in your mouth as you kind of come back. Oh, hey, there he is.
Yeah, I'm back.
That last part there.
I look around. Do I see the hammer anywhere?
I'm glad that you asked that. As you come back to consciousness, while not visible to you directly right now, you feel a connection to it, which is something you didn't feel before. And this connection seems to be drawn to that pillar that has the list of the different trials that you and that Miris and Irini were reading off of, encased in about an inch thick layer of ice. You feel it calling to you from that pillar. It seems to be possibly embedded within.
Alright, I want to go up to the pillar and like put my hand against it, see if I can like pull it out or force it out to my mind or whatever.
As you place your hand upon this pillar, just in a random location upon said pillar, you close your eyes and you feel for a moment this spiritual connection. And as you feel this connection kind of emanate and like resonate within you, you watch as large cracks form along this pillar, breaking chunks of ice off of it in an instant. The cracks dig deeper into the stone. You feel your hand as you're like putting a bit of pressure on this pillar itself. Stone breaking away, cracking off in large chunks, and you begin to see the image of this hammer itself forming. You see like the top, the smashy bits appearing in your vision as your hand descends deeper into the pillar. Again, it continuing to erode away. Some of it dissipates down into like a thin sand-like consistency, as it doesn't even, like, you don't meet any resistance as you push your hand forward. And eventually you feel your hand grab around the handle of the hammer itself. You, let me add, just so you have a frame of reference for an image, let me add it to your inventory. Should be under your weapons now.
Okay. Let's see if I can make that image.
I can also post it in the. I'll post it in the campaign art channel too. What the hammer looks like. Alright, it is posted in campaign art for what the hammer itself actually looks like. As you are able to hold Spirit Breaker within your hands.
This thing is cool. Is it a one-handed or two-handed weapon?
Ooh, let me actually take a look at it once. I believe it is considered a two-handed hammer.
Okay. So I can't use my turtle shell shield with it. Aethros is gonna have some serious decisions to make.
You're buff enough, you can use it with one hand.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it is versatile. You could do it with either one. It could be one-handed or two-handed. So, one-handed, it's 2d8. 2d8 plus whatever damage you do, and like your modifier, so like your normal hammer stuff, and then you can do it versatile, and it's 2d10.
Ooh. Okay.
You feel a strong, like, divine presence while you hold this hammer in your hand. But you can tell that by completing the trials, it has bonded itself with you. Like, yeah.
Yeah, this thing is awesome.
Look at you. Got a cool new toy. You and Big Tune got some heavy hitting weapons now.
I feel like I blew my load on getting my cool thing too soon.
Oh, you got your sword, now you got the, like, shield. That's a cool
No,
shield.
I know, but I'm talking about damage.
Oh, yeah.
I might have some ideas for how we can make your, maybe either make you a sword that does more through some form of enchantment, or maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a way we can maybe buff this, Flare Glimmer a little bit too. We don't know. There's possibilities here that we haven't even explored, Kitty.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I can only do this, not make a psionic dagger pull up.
Yeah, but when you do that and you do it well, like, I watched you just, like, blow somebody to bits just by hitting them with one of those psychic daggers. Like, you do a lot of damage. But you gotta be, like, really precise about it. And Irina's just like, I mean, I can fire a beam out of my hands, but I really can't wield a... Like, if I try to swing a sword, like, depends on the blade, I'm not really all that good at that kind of stuff.
Dune's trying to hide his feelings.
For not having the cool new hotness anymore. As I put away my sword gingerly and just like shoulders slumped, just like a tiny bit.
It's okay, Kitty. We're gonna find
What?
you
No,
something
I'm
real
fine.
nice.
I'm
gonna find
fine.
you a real nice
Alright.
new shiny thing for you to swing at some
fine.
guy that we fight out in the wild.
I'm fine.
Well, you don't look very fine, Kitty. Your ears are
don't know
slumped a
what
little
you're
bit.
talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
I got my eye Anyway, like I was trying to say, I was waiting for Aethros. Is we so we learned a little bit about the ritual and what it entails, and that's where you got brought up because she needed your blood. That's what she needed to stab you that time for on the top of Calvin's cairn. And then we kind of learned about all the pieces she needs. So if she gets Sienna, she has all the pieces she needs to do her ritual. And we learned about where it was, and like a little bit more about the structure. I think it's, guys. I think the ziggurat that we have to go find. I think it's underground. It sounds weird, but
Is it the place that you told us not to go to? I wonder if that's where it is. When we were gonna go to a place, and then you were like, "No, don't do it."
Oh yeah, we were headed to Goodmead, and Aethos
Yeah.
had a feeling about going somewhere. And then we're like, "You want to go?" And he's like, "No, I think we'll die."
Yeah, because didn't the nameless, like above
No,
the nameless, tell us to stop?
that's where we went to the temple underneath Bridgender, wasn't it?
I don't think so. No, because that was in the middle of Brinchander.
Oh,
Yeah, this was on the trail going to Goodmead. It's off to like the right.
it was I would say all of you make a history check.
I mean, I remember the conversation exactly. We
Me
were
too.
leaving Brinchander going to Goodmead.
that's a 2.
I do too. I just don't know if that's what that was or if it was something else.
Aethros doesn't remember anything.
Yes.
Ebrin, as the two of you, Aethros and Bictu, are talking about this. Ebrin, you will recall that this happened. What the place you're thinking of was when you were leaving Brinchander. You were going to go. I believe it was actually you were going to go originally to East Haven to complete one of the quests there, and Irini had a conversation with the Nameless because Aethros was having visions about a temple dedicated to Shar underneath Brinchander. Aethros was familiar with one of the locations because one of the entrances to get into that temple was about a quarter mile outside of Brinchander, out in the middle of the frozen wasteland. And Aethros knew where it was because he had had a couple of different visions, which led him. He got pulled out of that exit when he left, which is partially why he knew how to navigate to get you to that temple underneath Brinchander, because he had been there in spirit before. So the Nameless said when you guys were originally going to go and just confront the temple, that it wasn't a good idea, that they thought that you might die. And Irini was like, I kind of agree with the Nameless here. I feel like maybe we should wait just because they told us to. And then you got called to Targos to deal with Matra and the Church of Oral. So you ended up not going to East Haven first. You ended up going to Targos first.
Gotcha.
And then you went to East Haven and dealt with the stuff that they had going on there. And then after that quest, you went to Goodmead. But that's the thing that you're referencing, was when you guys had that concern. It's like, do we go do this? Do we go do that? Oh, hey, there's this thing out in the middle of the wilderness. Nameless says, that's not a good idea. Please don't die. Etc., etc.
Gotcha. So we have the hammer,
Right.
right?
Yep.
And what do
So yeah,
you
Aethros is
want
looking
to?
at his new hammer and his old hammer, and he just chucks his old hammer off the side of this platform. However high up we are, just
Oh, you're very high.
yeah. Oh yeah, that thing's falling far.
Oh yeah, it's
Fast.
going way down. Terminal velocity very quickly.
Yep.
You don't even hear it hit the bottom somewhere. You launch it off the side and just like disappears into this layer of clouds. But you know it's hurling. If anyone was underneath it, they'd be dead in a second.
Mhm.
Or Thing for that matter.
So
Please
now
say
that we
Hedrun was underneath that.
So
Um,
now that we have your hammer, can we get out of here? We're done, right? Like, we don't
Oh,
need to be here
yeah,
anymore?
yeah, yeah. We should leave because the thing. Oh no, didn't hear is that we have like a day to find Ziana.
Oh!
So
That's,
Oh,
that's
well, that's
yeah,
not
let's
great.
go. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I'll tell you more on the way. We gotta go now. Like I
okay.
start going down the stairs.
Okay. Okay. I guess we're going now. And like Ono would like put on his stilts and like start following behind, and everybody else who's like with you all would kind of like look amongst each other, look to Bigtoon and Ibrin, waiting for a follow. Y'all following Athros?
yeah,
Okay.
because we're leaving, so
Yeah.
head
Uh,
out the door.
As all of you begin making your way down the stairs, circling around the sides of this mountain that you had ventured up upon to reach this area in general. After a decent amount of time traveling, I would say I think it was a total of about a half an hour of traveling up these stairs. It is a long journey up and spiraling up some of these hillsides or the mountainsides. You'll eventually see in the distance, across the water, you would see the image of the lightning tank and what looks like Ugg and Tug, like laying on the ground, not dead, just like taking a nap or something, because you guys have been gone long enough. As you make your way down, passing the two. Oh my God, why is this not playing? As you make your way down, passing the two stone ravens once again, you would see that the bridge that you had made previously to cross to get over here. Wait, no. You guys did something else to cross over there, didn't you?
Well, they did create the magical ice bridge, but I also casted the spell Water Walk.
Walk
Oh,
on,
yeah, that's
walk on
right.
water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or,
That's right, because the bridge collapsed. I think shortly after you guys started doing that. Well, you would find once again the stream of water, not stream, the river of water, and the large, the large central structure made out of snow and ice that meets in the median between the two sides of this particular area of the river. And you see on the other side of it, you see the lightning tank, and Spit would kind of peek his head out and see all of you guys over there. And you would see, even though you really can't hear what he's saying, he gets really giddy about the fact that you're all alive and are making your way back. And Irini would just look over and be like, "Hi, Spit," and Ono would be like, "Don't fall off the top of the." He is way too excited as like Spit is dancing around up on the top of the lightning tank. He's just like, "Be careful!" As Spit may or may not be able to hear him. It's hard to say from this distance. But you all are standing on the side of the river. What would you like to do? How would you like to cross?
well, we are on time crunch, so I'm gonna use my last third level spell to cast Water Walk again.
Okay.
And
We got across using Ray of Frost, didn't we?
Ono and Matra spent a grand old time building a bridge all the way across, and Aether was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna cast Water Walk so we can just walk across."
yeah.
And Ono was very, very confused, upset, and also impressed at the same time. And then the bridge collapsed, so it worked out better that way anyway. So, you cast Water Walk on the party. You're all able to make your way back to the lightning tank, and Irini, Ibrin, I should say. I imagine you and Irini will begin getting the polar bears ready to go, making sure that they're able to continue, because this was a good rest period for them. Because you guys, I think, traveled like all through the night to get to this point, so they would have taken a decent rest while you guys were up on top of the hill, and you would be able to set off. Whoever wants to take the reins, it would be a animal handling check, Ibrin, it would be with advantage because you read that book.
I'll let Spit do it. I'll hang
Okay.
out with Spit.
All right. Let's see how Spit does. Spit hasn't had any action in a little while. Oh yeah, he's good to go. You needed a 12, he rolled a 13. So, as he, whips at the reins and the caravan begins moving, turning around to head back the direction that you guys had come from, trudging through a little bit of snow to kind of make the turnaround happen. Not really affecting your pace in any way. This thing doesn't really travel all that fast anyway. I guess Ono would look to you, Athros. What did you mean by we only have like a day? We're on the caravan now. We're making our way towards the forest, but you seem very you seem very skittish about it.
Hedrun's already with Sienna. So, we got that going for us. Yeah, so she kind of like infiltrated their little druid society, and she's gonna kidnap her within the next day.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, were you able to get did this druid society seem like they were hostile? Did they seem friendly?
I mean, it seemed like they were a bunch of people living out in the wild. They didn't seem like they were hostile or friendly or anything in between. Just, a bunch of people going about their day.
You would hear Miras chime in, which even as Miras, he is still very quiet. Did the person that you guys met with, did they possibly mention anything about if it was like a specific tribe of people? Was it like bear or elk or some other variant?
Yeah, what was that, like the Black Sun, Black Moon people, something or other, right? You remember?
She mentioned something about the Black Moon. The group of people, they were the ones who created the ritual that Hedrun's using. It's known as the art of crimson soul salvagry. But if she said that about the tribe of people when you met with her, I didn't hear that part because I got left behind.
No, I was misremembering that. No, yeah, no, they're just.
Well, that's still good information, though. Miras would chime in, because I'm looking for information on the Order of the Black Moon. So if they were involved with the ritual that Hedrun's using, that might be another page for my book that I'm trying to find. Which it just gives us more reason to stop it, I guess. Even if it wasn't tied to this tribe of people, I'm glad that there's something of benefit to come for me. So thank you for that.
Oh wow! Look at Mr. Selfish, thinking only about himself. Ooh.
Well, I just that's not what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
If tieflings could have a redder face than what they already do, you feel as though Miras would probably be a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah, and he's not going to say anything for the next hour now.
Yeah, he's just going to immediately go back to being this quiet person.
This is why I don't talk a lot.
This was my time to shine, and this is how I treat it.
Yeah.
Low key, when you told me that that Miras was with us, I was like, "Oh shit, Ian!" Then I was like, "Oh wait, that's right, he's not here. Thank God."
Yeah.
I felt like really bad for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's fine. Well, if we have a day, I hope we find them before the day is up, because I don't know about you, but I really don't want to we have no idea how bad things will get if she completes her ritual, and the last thing we want is to not be able to stop it. So we gotta do whatever we can to try and save Sienna. I don't know how we're gonna get her out of Hedrun's clutches if she's already there. But we'll figure something out. We're pretty good. We're pretty good about that. You got a brand new hammer. We could smash some face. Maybe we can, free Attina from Hedrun before this even begins. That would save us all of these problems.
Who was talking? Is that Irini?
That was oh no.
Oh, okay. Either way, when he says you have a brand new hammer, Victoon is definitely very upset about that, and he just kind of turns away, just a touch, just enough.
And I pull the hammer out, and I just start looking at it, admiring it, like, oh yeah, I do have a new hammer. It's so cool. It looks like a raven.
You hear it quiet. Well, maybe you hear it quietly.
As
oh, it's so cool. It can do so many things. It's gonna be so sweet to swing.
I remember now something else that the priestess mentioned that we talked to was that in order to weaken her and make her more vulnerable to having her spirit purged from Attina's body, we gotta deal with the ice snake. It's one of the things that's binding her to here, or to Attina.
Yeah, that and you remember that Cephalic Caltro guy? Yeah, he's back. Sort of.
Oh, is that why I had that dream about him?
Maybe.
Remember, guys, when I was really tired that one day?
Why are you dreaming about other men?
Oh yeah. I remember everything.
I was like really tired.
Oh yeah. I got you. Yeah, I remember that.
You feel as though Athros remembers that pretty well.
Yeah, which seems really weird for Athros remembering something.
As Ibrin says, "Why are you dreaming about other men?" You would see Irini look at him and be like, "Why do you want him to dream about you?"
I'm just curious. Out of all the things he could dream about, milk, meat, just mainly milk in general.
Listen,
he's dreaming
who's
about
to say it was a dream? Maybe he was actually in my dream. I mean, in my mind, whatever,
Maybe he was in Big Tune. You don't know.
Maybe he penetrated my mind.
Big Tune?
Yeah.
Just penetrating India.
Oh my god. Now I'm just remembering. What was it when Drew Holiday was talking about? Was it Kevin Durant and how he penetrates you or something really weird during the playoffs 2-3 years ago? And I was just looking at him like, dude, what the fuck?
As the party, the caravan moves forward and begins its trip back towards the bridge that will take them to the forest below the Red Run. As they begin making their plans and trying to establish what we're going to do to stop the ritual, the art of Crimson Soul Salvagery from Hedrun, and figure out how we're going to save Sienna or kill Sienna. The party really was kind of ambiguous about that one. I think we're going to leave it there for this evening, as you've successfully claimed the relic Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, and I just noticed one of the things towards the bottom of the little card for Spirit Breaker. It's like, oh, the state of it. That's cool. Yeah.